Hi, welcome back to The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Today we are on Chapter 10, Further Use of the Will. You cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you are consistently turning your attention to opposing pictures, either external or imaginary. Do not tell others of any past financial troubles. Do not think of them at all. Do not tell anyone about the poverty of your parents or the hardships of early life. To do any of these things is mentally classes yourself with the poor for the time being, and this will certainly check the movement of things in your direction. Let the dead bury the dead, said Jesus. Put poverty and all things that pertain to poverty completely behind you. You have accepted a certain theory of the universe as being correct, and you are resting your hopes of happiness on this being correct. What can you gain by giving heed to conflicting theories? Do not read religious books which tell you that the world is soon coming to an end. Do not read the writings of muckrakers and pessimistic philosophers who tell you that it is going to the devil. The world is not going to the devil. It is going to God. It is a wonderful becoming. True, there may be a good many things in existence, in existing conditions which are disagreeable, but what is the use of studying them when they are certainly passing away, and when the study of them only tends to check their passing and keep them with us? Why give time and attention to things that are being removed from evolutionary growth, when you can hasten their removal only by promoting the evolutionary growth as far as your part of it goes? No matter how horrible the apparent conditions may be in certain countries, sections, or places, you waste your time and destroy your own chances by considering them. You should interest yourself in the world becoming rich. Think of riches in the world it is coming into instead of the poverty that it is growing out of. And bear in mind that the only way in which you can assist the world in growing rich is by growing rich yourself through the creative method, not the competitive one. Give your attention wholly to riches. Ignore poverty. Whenever you think or speak of those who are poor, think or speak of them as those who are becoming rich, and those who are to be congratulated rather than pitied. Then they and others will catch the inspiration and begin to search for the way out. Because I say that you are to give your whole time and mind to the thought of the rich, to riches, it does not follow that you are to be sordid or mean. To become rich is the noblest aim you can have in life because it includes everything else. Only the competitive plane, the struggle to get rich, is a godless scramble for power over other people. But when we come into the creative mind, all this is changed. All that is possible in the way of greatness and soul unfoldness, of service and lofty endeavor, comes by way of getting rich. All is made possible by the use of things. If you do not have physical health, you will find that its attainment is conditional on your getting rich. Only those who are emancipated from financial worry and who have the means to live a carefree existence will follow hygienic practices that can have and retain health. Moral and spiritual greatness is only possible for those above the competitive battle for existence, and only those who are becoming rich on the plane of creative thought are free from the degrading influences of competition. If your heart is set on domestic happiness, remember that love flourishes best when there is refinement, a high level of thought, and freedom from corrupting influences. There are to be found only where riches are attained without strife or rivalry by the exercise of creative thought. I repeat, you can aim at nothing so great or noble as to become rich. You must fix your attention upon the mental picture of riches, to the exclusion of all that may tend to dim or obscure vision. You must learn to see the underlying truth in all things. You must see beneath all seemingly wrong conditions the great one life ever moving forward toward fuller expression and more complete happiness. It is the truth that there is no such thing as poverty. There is only wealth. Some people remain in poverty because they are ignorant of the fact that there is wealth for them. These people can best be taught by showing them the way to affluence in your own person and practice. Others are poor because they feel that there is a way out. They are too intellectually indolent to put forth the mental effort necessary to find the way to travel it. And for these people, the very best thing you can do is to arouse your desire by showing them the happiness that comes from getting rightly rich. Others are poor because they have some notion of science. They have become so swamped and lost in a maze of metaphysical and occult theories that they do not know which road to take. They try a mixture of many systems and fail in all. For these, again, the very best thing to do is to show them the right way in your own person and practice. An ounce of doing things is worth a pound of theorizing. The very best thing that you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. You can serve God and fellow humans in more effective way by getting rich. That is, if you get rich by the creative method and not by the competitive one. Another thing, I assert that this book gives in detail the principles of the science of getting rich. You do not need to read any other book upon the subject. This may sound narrow and egotistical. However, there is no more scientific method or computation in mathematics than by addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. No other method is possible. There can only be one shortest distance between 2 points. There is only one way to think scientifically, and that is to think in the way that leads by the most direct and simple route to the goal. No person has yet formulated a briefer or less complex system than the one I am describing here. It has been stripped of all non-essentials. When you begin this method, lay all others aside. Put them out of your mind altogether. Read this book every day, keep it with you, and commit it to memory. Do not think of any other systems or theories. If you do, you will begin to have doubts and to become uncertain and wavering in your thought. Then you will bring negative thoughts to the formless substance. After you have made good and become rich, you may study other systems as much as you please. But until you are quite sure that you have gained what you want, do not read anything else on this subject except the authors mentioned in the preface. Only read the most optimistic comments on the world's news, just those that are in harmony with your picture. Also, postpone your investigations into the occult. Do not dabble in theosophy, spiritualism, or kindred studies. It is very likely that the dead still live and they are near. But if they are, let them alone. Mind your own business. Whether the spirits of the dead may be, they have their own work to do and their own problems to solve. We have no right to interfere with them. We cannot help them. It is very doubtful whether they can help us or whether they have any right to trespass on their own time if they can. Let the dead and thereafter alone. Solve your own problems and get rich. If you begin to mix with the occult, you will start mental cross-currents, which will surely bring your hopes to shipwreck. Lastly, and this is in the preceding chapters, have brought us to the following statements of basic facts. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. A person can form things in his thoughts, and by impressing his thoughts upon formless structure, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, a person must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants, and he must hold this picture in his thoughts with the fixed purpose to get what he wants and the unwavering faith that he will get what he wants, closing his mind against all that he may tend to shake his purpose, dim his vision, and quench his faith. And in addition to all this, we shall now see that he must live and act in a certain way. So tomorrow we'll go into chapter 11 that says acting in a certain way. Thanks.